Hi Libra, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your mid-February through mid-March career tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at your finances, find out how the astrological energies affect your job, your career, as well as your self-worth. We have some really big energy coming mid-February through mid-March. We will be entering into eclipse season by the time we get into March. But before that, we have a big week, February 23rd through 28th, when all planets will be direct. Use this time, Libra, to plant new seeds of intention. It will be coming up on that Pisces new moon, but we will also have Mercury and Venus both retrograding in the month of March as well. So lots going on. Do check the description box below where I have highlighted all those important dates. Also, if you haven't subscribed to Scorpio Soul Time, I would love if you would. Really helps my channel grow. And thank you to all of my returning and new subscribers. All right, Libra, let's get right into it. All right, so we start off mid-February with the Page of Swords, as well as the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. The last week of February finds you with the Page of Wands, as well as the Six of Pentacles in reverse. First week of March, Nine of Swords, as well as the Nine of Wands. So quite a few endings looking like here as we get into Pisces season. And mid-March, right around the eclipse season, is when the Fool card comes, Major Arcana in reverse, as well as the Seven of Cups. So interesting mix here, Libra. I do think one thing that I have noted is you have quite a few reversals, okay? That Page of Swords, Page of Wands, and Seven of Cups at the end are your only uprights, and you only have one Major Arcana. So that's going to be interesting in terms of as you're coming into March, figuring out what is the needing to be left behind and what new areas to begin in your career. Spirit, if you can send my Libras a card representing the energy they bring into mid-February. And you have the Star card. So the Star card is that Aquarius energy for any of you all who have been trying to come into some individuality while working amongst a group. This can be your colleagues, your peers at work, but this can also be you and your community. Where is it that you've been trying to stand out or become more associated with people that you connect with, people who you could be trying to network with, especially during this career time? And I do think for many of you all, by the time you get to late February and into March, this is going to become even more apparent, especially as you move into March and into eclipse season. So really nice to see that. That's some really positive energy, Libra, that you bring into this time. Let's pull one last card. Spirit, if you can send an oracle message for my Libras for mid-February to mid-March. And you have positive movement forward. So glad to see this, Libra. For many of you all, I do think the last 18 months have been a little challenging with that South Node that was in your sign. And I do think now that we're moving into the Pisces and Virgo's axis, I think this positive movement forward is showing you where you have already taken the reins on a new direction. But I also think that many of you all, if this hasn't come into your life yet, it is on the way. So just be patient, okay? And I do think, Libra, for many of you all, this could be a slow moving energy, especially with these reversals down here and these nines. So before we get to March, let's go week by week. We will start off mid-February around that Leo full moon on the 12th that we had. We also had, Mercury entering Pisces on the 14th, the Sun entering Pisces on the 18th, and by the time we get to the 23rd, Mars moves direct in Cancer. So this is a really good time for connecting with those where you have felt some type of powerless what am I trying to say? If you have felt like you haven't had power or you haven't had courage, that Leo full moon could have highlighted an area where you felt those areas that you are not strong at work, speaking up for yourself. I do think this Four of Pentacles is no longer being too stressed out about having to save. Excuse me, I do think some of you get some positive conversations, positive insights, and information that come in right around that Leo full moon. And I do think that many of you all are acting on some kind of lead. I do think that some of you all are networking. Some of you are looking for a job. And I do hear positive leads could come up right around mid-February and into March. So keep that in mind, especially as Mars moves direct. That could be a really positive conversation for you and possibly some people that you've been networking with. I do think by time you move to the last part of February, this is that week that I told you all planets are direct, the 23rd through the 28th. Page of Wands is some type of passion project that is possibly taking flight. This is an offer possibly coming in, not necessarily having to be just a job offer, because this Six of Pentacles in reverse does suggest you have been possibly applying for some jobs, but maybe you got turned over or passed on from you because someone else could have been a better fit. But I do think by the time we get to that Pisces new moon on the 27th, there is some real big opportunities for you to plant seeds of where you want to work, what specific job you want to do. I do think many of you all are having some inspirational thoughts coming in at that Pisces new moon. And I do think that that Six of Pentacles is inviting you not to get discouraged, not to get down, because you do have that positive movement forward oracle message, which is saying just keep going. Even though there could be some setbacks, just keep going, okay? That's going to be an important message as we move through eclipse season, okay? When the volatile energy starts picking up, just keep moving forward. Do not get stressed over one thing, okay? Okay, Libra, so now we move into March. March is a really big month with Venus moving retrograde right out the gate in Aries on March 1st. On that same day, on the 1st, Mercury enters its retrograde shadow, both in Aries. So this is a lot of energy shift, right? We were in all of this Piscean energy. By the time we move into March, Aries conversations start coming up, wanting to initiate, wanting to be bold. I will tell you that both of these in reverse, I actually like, because Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords, those are both of like being overwhelmed with tiredness, worriment. These are both in reverse. So this is suggesting as you come into March, even though there's a slowdown of conversation, possibly you can't quite find the exact fit for if you're trying to look for a job or possibly you're trying to hire someone. It does feel like the first few weeks of March may be a slowdown, but I do think that by the time we get to March 3rd, when Mercury now enters Aries and communication, drive, and power, I do think that this is when conversations could be more beneficial for you and you feel like you have some movement. So that's really good to see that first week of March. Okay, so by the time we move to mid-March, this is the big time of March. This is when we are now having the Sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces at 22 degrees. Make sure you keep your emotions out of conversations. We also will be entering eclipse season here. Lunar Eclipse, full moon in Virgo. This full moon will highlight details that you need to finish up or get rid of. I do think you all have too many options on your plate. I do think that some conversations have come up that you're like, oh, I could do that. Oh, maybe I could try this. Spirit is telling you, do not get too cocky in the fact that you have so many options, because the Fool card in reverse suggests like you almost have a false start, or you get too ambitious and then you forget the small details. Remember, Virgo is all about the details. And I do think during this eclipse season, you're going to start figuring out where it is that certain details have possibly been left out, because of course now we're going to enter Mercury retrograde on March 15th, the day after this eclipse, all the way until April 7th. And then this Seven of Cups is suggesting some of you have a lot of options, a lot of people that you've been talking to, but you're going to need to practice discernment during this time. And I do think that's going to be a big thing for you, Libra, is trying to figure out who is for your highest good and who is not. And I do think as you come into mid-February, mid-March, really pay attention, Libra, to who it is that you're attracting, okay? I do think that for many of you all, you're not attracting the people that you want to have positive movement forward. You may be moving forward, but you may not be moving in a positive direction. Okay, so we only want positive movement forward. So I think that's going to be important for you all, Libra. I do think you all are going to be on the right track if you just stay high-minded, keep connecting to your spirit guides, and see where it takes you this month. It's going to be very pivotal for the entire planet. And I do think by the time we move into April, we're going to have a lot of changes. So it's a big time. As I said, 2025 is a dynamic year. Take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs in this video series. Also, drop me a comment. Let me know, what are you looking forward to in your career at this time? All right, you all, I'll talk to you later.